just chatting a little bit about one of your graphics you were showing off, that it's a colorful map.
It is.
If you're just looking at it, but
Yes.
the data in it, those colors are not
so
great.
No, well, you know why? Because the warmer colors we associate with positive warmth
Right.
mean wind gusts that are over 40 miles an hour. So that's kind of an odd
Yeah, it's a mental contrast.
thing for us to talk about. Yeah, we're going to talk about the wind, but I think more so we'll be getting some rain out of this system, which will be obviously
We
a good
need that
thing.
more than the wind.
Yeah, for sure. Today was beautiful. A lot of sunshine. That helped. Temperatures 55 in Portland, as I talked about earlier. That's actually average for this time of the year for us to be in the mid-50s, 53 in Bangor, 47 in Greenville. We had a lot of sun. That made it feel nicer. Clouds will come in from the south. They're already moving in a little bit along the coastline, but more so this evening. I wouldn't characterize tomorrow as cloudy, but there'll be more clouds around than there were today. And as a result, that keeps temperatures down probably a couple of degrees compared to where we were today. So we end up, let's say, around 50 to 52, 53 degrees. Northern Maine and the mountains likely staying in the 40s throughout the day as we're in and out of the clouds. We get another dry day on Thursday. This wasn't always the case, but the front slowed down just enough that it looks like the vast majority of the state stays dry during the daylight hours on Thursday. Keep in mind that only covers you till about 5:30 or so this time of the year. But it does look dry and temperatures are in the low 50s with more clouds around through the day on Thursday. It's Thursday night from southwest to northeast that rain starts to move in. And in some cases, it's kind of overnight when many of us are sleeping that the rain really comes in. And during the heaviest rain will be the strongest wind gusts. That's often the case in these scenarios. So you're looking at the heaviest wind corresponding with those downpours, which will come through. This is 2 a.m. on Friday morning. And by 4 a.m., it's in through the mid-coast and into down East Maine around 6. It does, though, look like we're going to be able to clear out, especially over southern and western Maine in the afternoon on Friday. So we end up with a nice setup for trick-or-treating. Temperatures perhaps in the low to mid 60s, depending on how we play this out exactly. It's a little bit closer over northern Maine, where there could be still some showers around later in the day. So keep that in mind for trick-or-treating, an isolated shower there and into the mountains. And then it's cool and breezy on Saturday. Rainfall amounts about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, but some models have shown a couple of bullseyes. This one shows it over down east. Others have showed it farther west, so there is upside potential over 2 inches in there. Let's talk about Hurricane Melissa, which finally that eye wall has closed. Finally, it is down off a Category 5 hurricane. Unfortunately, the way it got there is it had to go over Jamaica, and that's where it weakened. And so it made landfall today at 1 o'clock as a Category 5 system with winds sustained at 185 miles an hour. This landfall ties the strongest landfall in the Atlantic Basin on record, not just Jamaica, the entire Atlantic Basin, which, by the way, is the entire East Coast, as well as the Gulf of Mexico. So all the storms you think of, it ties that for strongest. So we'll see what comes out of Jamaica. I don't think it's going to be good. Unfortunately, we'll get more data as time goes on there. Breezy, windy on Saturday, and coolish, and then we have that fall back, which means that our sun sets in the 4s on Sunday. So I put that in the 7 days if you needed the reminder. There will be around 50. There will be some sun, but it will be the sun will be setting earlier.
It's one of those things where no matter how many times someone reminds you, at least I always forget.
Yeah. Yep.
And there'll always be that one clock that didn't get changed.
Yeah. Well, if you have a kid, this doesn't happen because they
doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, they don't care. It turns out. Yeah.
Keith, thank you.